Hi guys, it's Wolverine here guys. I hope you guys doing okay. And just letting you know guys that the things are definitely now moving guys, and we are going to have something real huge next week. President Trump is going to make a speech at the State of the Union, and he wants every congressman actually to attend that event, right? And there's going to be a lot of things that are going to come out. We are hoping that he's going to name NESARA, GESARA, and the New Republic, right? The acid go back, and all this that's coming through, and hopefully there'll be massive arrest as well, right? We are hoping that's all going to happen, right? And that's why President Trump wants everyone to attend, because he's got something really important to say. So I'm hoping that's what it is, right? That's what we're all hoping. Now things have started actually in the RV for certain groups. I got told that's what's coming out, but I can't confirm that, guys. As you know, if people have been paid, they're not going to talk, right? They're all going to be under NDA. There's a lot of people under NDA. I'm under NDA in 2 platforms, and I can't talk about them, right? Doesn't mean I've been paid. I was just told actually that I have to sign an NDA, right? We are so close now actually to get this done. That's all I can tell you guys. And by next week, the USD is going to be asset go back. So I think that's what we're waiting on. And by next week, guys, we are going to celebrate like never before, right? Okay, so let's stay attentive, guys, and have faith. This needs to happen. It needs to happen. All right. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, I just wanted to say something too, guys. There's been a lot of things that are going through Telegram room about certain guru or whatever and asking for donations and all that, guys. I want to repeat again, guys, be careful with your money. Don't go out and sending out money for donations or these people using the alliance actually to scare you or anything like that, guys. Just be careful, right? All right, that's all I have to say. I think you're all grown-ups actually to make your own decision. All right, so that's all I have to say. Take care. Bye-bye.
Kathy, yes, I know things I can't tell, but we're going to get into it. Well, some of it's timing, and I'm waiting for some confirmation, so I'm not going to get into it. But let's dive now, whip through the news. I am going to go quickly so I can be ready for Whiskey and Wisdom. Just want to be absolutely crystal clear on that one so you guys don't get upset. And then Whiskey and Wisdom should be a lot of fun tonight. Andy told me this afternoon that he very much is planning on joining us this evening because his daughter has plans. He's gone to see her at school, university. So he was traveling on a plane this morning while we were doing the podcast. But he says he's planning on joining. We'll see how that one goes. Visiting kids, college, may get a curve, family. I totally understand that one. On the bond side, guys, I do have, I'm up to about a half a dozen so far in confirmations from bond folks that have been given their position in the queue to be processed. They did not share what that means to me, just their position. I had a couple of them let me know where they fit, which to me is interesting that they're literally willing to say, okay, you're first, you're second, you're third, you're fourth in that lineup. Exciting, but they did not say, well, your position of number 2 is going to be on Thursday or Friday. That I don't have. The only confirmation or the only word I've gotten is where a couple of them fit in the queue, which was quite a shock for a couple of them that thought they were the biggest on the planet, finding out that they weren't even in the top 2 or 3 before they get processed. But then I've said that all along. I mean, I shouldn't say that. Most bond groups think they're the largest on the planet. And well, you get where I'm going on that one, but it is extremely encouraging as they are setting up the queue for who gets processed first and in what order. The order does not seem to be based on location, meaning it seems to vary worldwide. In other words, this appears to be very much a worldwide event, not, hey, you're second in Zurich, you're third in Reno or something like that. It seems to be based around the world as far as to where you fit in that. So I thought that was interesting. I know. Wish I could tell you more. I wish I could tell you more. I don't know the timing yet. I just know what they're being told right now as far as to where they are in the queue or in the process, which that alone is encouraging for me. It's more progress than we've seen so far. To confirm Shafak News, Trump moves to impose sanctions on Iraqi groups. What does this mean? Massive movement between D.C. and Baghdad/Iraq today. They're withdrawing waivers. They are going after Iran at an extreme level, and that very much ramped up today, including imposing sanctions on Iraqi groups that are associated with, in other words, they're funded through Iran. They really ramped things up today to squeeze out Iran, from fuel deals to a push, looking to try to get, do I have this one? Give me just a minute. I'm going to try to, some of my articles for some reason just are not translating well right now, including one where they are pushing to get Kirkuk region up to 450,000 barrels on top of the new 400,000 or so that they're trying to get out of other areas. They are really ramping up production, which is going to have measurable effects. They are cutting out Iranian oil to China. This has become a target for the Trump administration. They're trying to cut 1 million barrels a day out, which means it'll have to come from some other area for China to keep buying. Right? QN Iraq right now. Some really interesting things happening in the oil markets, guys. It is clear that something very big is about to happen. And we've got another bit of a clue coming at us right now. Actually, we have a couple of clues coming at us. Very busy day in Iraq. Sudanese receives an official invitation from Putin to be there in May. Yep, time to sit down. Let's talk energy. Let's talk growth. Let's talk deals. Same time that the U.S. is doing similar things. In other words, Iraq seems to have become the apple of everybody's eye. Where am I at? This is probably where I need to go next. Congressman, we won big profits for American farmers through Iraq. Another breaking story. A deal has been cut for large-scale grain sales from the U.S. to Iraq, another major customer. In other words, it appears the U.S. is trying to offset their energy needs, their temporary gas needs, food, etc. They are very clearly preparing Iraq for something. Where are we going on this one? Oh, man, here's another solid one. After it was closed for 15 years, Article 140 office reopens to compensate victims in Nineveh. This is all dealing, well, not all, but largely dealing with the HCL issues and etc. The 140 offices, straight up, that's what they're dealing with. Article 140 provides for 3 stages: normalization, the conduct of life sentences, finally the holding a referendum to determine the dependency of these areas. In other words, getting all of those things squared away to pay folks in need. This is another one that I was told has been hanging out waiting, or part of the HCL herbal agreement. So I was kind of excited to see that when they specifically mentioned 140 and reopening that office in Nineveh to settle those issues still left over from the Gulf War. Oh, it's getting fun. Presidencies confirm the success of Iraqi politics. In short, they're all getting together and talking about just how pivotal and the successes they've had and the changes they have made and how stable. That's one thing in here. You're going to see it in here somewhere. They're going to talk about the stability of Iraq with their current political stances. I'm loving where this is all going. Of course, I meant to cover that one last, but I squeezed it in there, clicked the wrong button. Soudani receives an official invitation from Putin. Isn't that curious timing? He gets them from the U.S., he gets them from the U.K., he gets them from France, he gets them from Japan, now he gets them from Russia as well. In other words, we are about to see tremendous political changes between the U.S.-Russian relations. Kind of what Mr. C said, you're suddenly going to see peace break out. This is getting very, very interesting and fun. I know I'm going fast because I'm looking forward to getting out of here and ready for whiskey and wisdom. We cannot become what we need by remaining what we are. Amen, RW. It's good to see you. Sabrina, much love and thanks. I thank you guys for being here for me. I know I'm going too quickly. Todd, what will the gold treaty do for purchasing power of the dollar? Increase the purchasing power, aka causing deflation. A lot of people are going to be very confused by this because they're going to find out their car and their house isn't worth as much. And they're going to think, oh my God, my dollar's gone to crap. No, in other words, your dollars become more valuable. So it's not worth as many dollars because your dollars have more value. The educational side of this is going to be very difficult for many to understand. Fortunately, you guys are ahead of everybody on that front. All right.
Where are we today? I'm going to give you the news update that I have. I have it on absolute authority that, how can I put this? Numismatic people that have brought in, we've talked about bonds, right? I know of a bond guy who brought in foreign bonds, German railroad bonds, Yellow Dragon bonds from China, historic Filipino Super Pacelli bonds, and things like that, to the Treasury. He got paid about 2 weeks ago now, verified that he's been paid. The other aspect of this was people bringing in precious metals to the United States Treasury that had a certain value. Some of these are called, well, let's call it there's a thing called a golden gun. The golden gun is an ornate box, and I've got pictures of them, and maybe I'll post them on Telegram later. If you subscribe to Mike Baratel on Telegram, maybe I'll post them later. They're these ornate guns made of gold. Believe me, the Ian Fleming novel and film, James Bond, The Man with the Golden Gun, there was a story behind that. There was a story behind that. But the golden guns are symbolic of a treasure trove of precious metals that are held beyond them. In other words, if I have a golden gun box, and these, again, are very ornate box, from, let's say, the 1920s or 30s or even back into the 1800s, that represents a certain specific amount of gold, and each one is different. There is a certificate in them that tells you how much it actually represents. Let's say it represents 10, 20 metric tons of gold. I don't know. It can represent anything. The people who hold these are sovereign individuals from ancient families who have pledged that they will bring their gold reserves into the world, put it on ledger at the right time. Now, I have 1,000% verification from my best source and a guy I really trust that 2 of those were paid out yesterday to someone who brought them in to the tune of $5 billion. So people who brought gold on ledger during the revaluation GCR process to help back the rejuvenation of humanity are now being paid out. So that is extremely significant. From another bond contact, in other words, what they were paid was fiat currency. Okay, keep that in mind. That fiat currency is going to be exchangeable for the gold currency when we go to gold. The bond contracts were supposed to have started to come out yesterday. I have heard that they did to certain people, but not my people. So I have a bond contact who's waiting. I believe MarkZ does too, at least one, if not 2, to get their contracts. They have not received their contracts yet. And effectively, as I've been told, the contract is the same thing as getting paid, because once you sign the contract electronically and send it back, the money's in your account that you're going to get your commission, 15 minutes later or that same day. I have also been told, this is big, the new currency will be out next Tuesday. Next Tuesday is March the 4th. It is the State of the Union address. It would make absolute total sense for Donald Trump to announce the new gold-backed currency that day. The fact that it aligns with that is fascinating. Now, yesterday I did I did a show with Mel Carmine, the forecast, two ladies, Elisa and Victoria, and me and Mel, and we just shoot the shit about what the next week is going to bring. And it's interesting because Victoria's psychic, and she said, I don't see any of this happening until March the 10th. Well, another psychic friend of mine, who you may or may not know, told me that she saw me getting the first of my redemption payout basically on March the 10th. She said the day you get back or the day after you get back from Florida. Well, I'm coming back from Florida on March the 10th to Las Vegas. So to have those two people who are not connected and don't know each other say the same thing, and it will be less than a week after Trump's speech, I think is highly significant. So what's different now is this. We are still waiting on bond information from people who are expecting their bond contracts to be paid out. Now, this is on the private side of bonds, okay? Not the public side. There were people who went out, found people with historic bonds, they brought them in, passed them to the Treasury, they received their commission. They've been receiving their commissions now for a couple of weeks. Now the people who brought gold in to the Treasury are being paid out, including golden guns, which is, again, a promise of a much larger. It's not the value of the gold in the golden gun box you're getting compensated for. It's the gold behind it that you possess, that you verified that you possess. So, and God, I hope I'm not breaking any rules. So that's what I have. Now, in order for me to be receiving funds in my account around March the 10th, I would need to go to my redemption appointment sometime in the next week to 10 days. So we shall see if that happens. That's what we're waiting for. On that note, what I'm told is, once again, everyone is lined up for it to be tonight. They were lined up for it to be last night. Woke up this morning, no notifications. But once again, they are lining everything up to go through tonight. And I do not know and have not been told what the issue was, why it didn't go last night. We just know that it hasn't gone yet. But guys, and again, I hate to be, I love Wolvie. I don't want to be like Wolvie. Oh, guys, things are moving. Things are moving in the areas around us, the tier 1 and tier 2 and tier 3 that have to go before we go. So that's the news.
And everybody wants to know what your intel was that you shared earlier. I know we're going to talk about the thing we must not talk about.
Oh, well, okay. So what I have is somebody who insists absolutely that two golden guns were cashed in this just a day or so ago for an exorbitant amount of money. Now, just so you know, these golden guns, if they're authenticated, sell for $140 to $150 million. And what they represent is a much larger tranche of actual gold or silver that are backed by the symbolic nature of the golden gun. So what they're getting paid for is not just the golden gun itself, but the amount of gold, sovereign gold, that represents. And what I mean by that is old school gold that's been, off the books for 100 years, 130 years, 800 years. So I also had another person giving me information to the effect that, yes, they've now moved on from paying out bonds to now paying out people the numismatic payouts and the people that brought in gold. Because remember, what this is all about and how this is all funded is that they're bringing in all of these financial instruments, the paper financial instruments, and gold and silver that was not on ledger worldwide. So the true wealth of the world is being brought in to finance this thing that we're all waiting for. So so what I got is that, we started the bonds last week. They're still in process. And now we're paying out the people that brought the gold in. So, and that's apparently very solid based on my contact who I appreciate. So I believe him.
I don't think they skip steps, Treebeard. I've heard similar things on some of the historic art pieces that are attached to bonds. I have heard that as well, but not specifically. And I've had the privilege of seeing one of those gold gun boxes.
Oh, wow.
Really, really cool.
You saw
really,
one in real life.
In real life, which was really
They do
cool.
exist. They are real, and they are representative of a much larger tranche of precious metals behind them, usually held by ancient families, the kind that are involved in this process.
I kind of like this one. Mike, would you like to add anything in closing?
No, just stay hopeful, stay strong. This thing is really close that we're all waiting on. It's really close. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's only going to get more exciting. So hang in there and don't lose faith. Okay, keep it strong.
Keep it strong. Keep it faith.
Maximum alert. Released funds. The blessing arrives now. Dear brothers and sisters of the Antonio Diogenes community, in these days filled with expectation and hope, we bring you a message that comes from the depths of our hearts and is grounded in absolute certainty. The process we have awaited for so long is now a tangible reality moving steadily toward its fulfillment. We want you to have complete confidence in these words, as they are not based on rumors or speculation. The information we share has been verified through reliable and direct sources. We can joyfully confirm that the vast majority of the key players, the ones who took the first step in this journey, have already received their funds. This is safeguarded by a confidentiality agreement, a detail that should not be cause for concern, but rather a confirmation of the seriousness and order with which everything is being handled. This silence is a clear sign that the plan is being executed with discipline and commitment. It is important to understand that this process follows a well-established protocol designed with precision so that each stage unfolds fairly and efficiently. There is a logical and necessary order. First, those who assume significant risks, then the intermediaries who established essential connections, next, the organizers responsible for logistics, followed by the facilitators who prepared the groundwork, and finally, you, the beneficiaries, the heart of this movement. This sequence is not arbitrary. It is the result of careful planning to ensure that resources reach everyone equitably. Each stage strengthens the next, like the steps of a great construction that will soon be completed. Never doubt that you are at the core of this effort. Your leaders, guided by an unwavering commitment to serving humanity, work tirelessly to make this process a success. Inspired by the will of the Eternal Father, they do not merely fulfill a task, they embrace a divine mission. Imagine them as tireless sentinels watching over the well-being of every member of this community. Their dedication is evident. Day after day, they overcome obstacles, coordinate efforts, and keep the flame of hope alive. This is not a fleeting project, but a legacy of love and unity that transcends borders and generations. Therefore, with humility and affection, we ask you to remain calm and trust fully in the process. We know that waiting can bring unease, especially in uncertain times, but we assure you that the Father moves every piece with divine precision, weaving a glorious outcome. To navigate this period, we suggest practicing gratitude for present blessings, dedicating moments to prayer or reflection, and strengthening bonds with loved ones. Patience is not merely waiting, but trusting that everything will happen at the perfect time. Each passing day brings us closer to that shared celebration when abundance will be a reality for all. Look to the future with hope. An abundant world awaits us. Imagine a tomorrow where scarcity is but a distant memory, where everyone lives with dignity and the community prospers as one. Envision homes filled with joy, opportunities for the young, and outstretched hands to those in need. This is not a distant dream, but a promise being fulfilled step by step. Together, we will build that bright future, founded on faith, love, and solidarity. So with peace in your hearts, keep moving forward. There is no room for doubt, only for certainty. The Father guides us, your leaders support you, and this community advances as one toward victory. The time of abundance is near, and soon we will celebrate together the triumph of light, love, and unity. Remain steadfast, dear brothers and sisters, for the best is yet to come. Sincerely, Antonio Diogenes.
Our money. What about countries overseas? Should we be investing in them or not? This is all building up to show you this video.
Right, listen to what Bev Turner says about this AI video of Trump's plan for Gaza. She absolutely nails it. She knows.
What's his first question going to be to me? I think he's probably say, which knee would you like me to kneel on? Mr. Trump.
Well,
President.
Absolutely. There's a distinct relationship evolving here, isn't there? And it's emerging to us that that Keir Starmer is going to do everything that Donald Trump wants him to do. I personally like the idea of Sir Keir Starmer following Donald Trump. But what does it tell us about the president, of the Prime Minister? It tells us he doesn't stand for anything, does he? This video is what Trump has just posted on his social media site, which is called Truth Social.
She nails it.
Video, but the fact he's put it on his website, to me, suggests this is something he rather approves of.
Here we go, have a look.
Everyone's talking about this morning.
We need the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more. So if you're listening on the radio, he's juxtaposing images of Gaza as a war zone compared to Gaza looking like a tropical Middle Eastern paradise. People are literally dancing on the beach with money falling out of the sky.
With a Trump Gaza hotel, with a giant golden statue of Trump, and also an image which was rather unsettling.
Master
of Donald
Troller.
Trump in his bathers, next to Netanyahu in his bathers, on a beach bed.
Now, I think it's absolutely genius. Do you know why? What does every leader in that area not want? They don't want America to own Gaza. They don't want it. So Donald Trump is basically winding them up. He did it when he did that press conference with Netanyahu a few weeks ago. And he said, well, we're going to make it into the Middle East Riviera. That's what we're doing. Netanyahu's face dropped because he doesn't want that either. Jordan don't want it. Lebanon don't want it. Nobody in the Middle East wants this. This is basically Trump saying to them, sort it out yourselves or I'm going to come in and I'm going to own you.
And in the same video, you've got Elon Musk, you've got lots of money being lavished.
Enjoying hummus.
Yeah, but it's a huge golden statue of Trump. And the fact he's put it on his website is extraordinary.
But don't you think it's classic Trump, though? Because he's always a deal maker, right? He's a negotiator.
Out of
This
the
is a
deal.
negotiation. This is saying, if you don't sort it out, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to come into your region. You lot, this is metaphorically banging their heads together. I think it's brilliant.
And remember, 2 million people live in Gaza. Gaza had been flattened because of the war. Some people think disproportionate, the Israeli response. We have to remember why the war started, because Hamas launched that shocking attack in Israel. But this is going to be so provocative, and he knows exactly what he's doing.
He does know exactly what he's doing. I think it's really clever. It will wind up all the right people.
I was actually being quizzed about this from John Healy. He was lost for words.
Well, he used that for, I can believe it, but you see, they don't understand what Donald Trump, they're going to be lost for words, because some people will look at this and go, this is Donald Trump capitalising on tragedy in the Middle East. That's what he's going to do. He's going to make money for himself. I don't think it is that.
But also, they would say, we've got Zelensky going to Washington on Friday.
AJ on X posted 5:57 a.m. February 27th, 2025. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, is the ones who give the green light to revalue or devalue currency. So this is an important meeting with the Iraqi Minister of Finance, Taif Sami, discussed with the International Monetary Fund financial and banking reforms to support the Iraqi economy during the periodic meetings held in the Jordanian capital Amman. The Iraqi Ministry of Finance said in a statement issued today, Wednesday, and received by Shafaq News Agency, that the discussions focused on implementing the 2024 budget with a review of mechanisms for controlling expenditures and enhancing the efficiency of distributing financial resources in line with the state's economic goals. The two parties also discussed, according to the statement, ways to improve public finances by supporting investment and directing social spending towards vital sectors, in addition to enhancing non-oil revenues and reducing dependence on oil revenues. The meetings also included discussing banking reforms, stressing the importance of updating financial systems to keep pace with global economic changes. It also reviewed the economic forecast for 2025 and potential strategies to increase non-oil revenues, including developing the tax system and implementing a unified accounting system. During the meetings, Sammy stressed that these meetings come within the framework of the ministry's efforts to enhance financial stability and achieve structural reforms that support the national economy, noting the importance of coordination with international partners and considering cooperation with the International Monetary Fund as a fundamental pillar in developing financial policies to confront current challenges. So they say Iraq is ready. What is the International Monetary Fund? The ones that pull the trigger. IMF is the ones who give the green light to revalue or devalue the currency. Okay. AJ comments further, directing social spending towards vital sectors in addition to enhancing non-oil revenues and reducing dependence on oil revenues. Non-oil revenues, again, they got inflation down to 3%. In many shamanic societies, if you came to a medicine person complaining of being disheartened, dispirited, or depressed, they would ask one of 4 questions. When did you stop dancing? When did you stop singing? When did you stop being enchanted by stories? When did you stop finding comfort in the sweet territory of silence?